Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for being here for our Eastside Wrap meeting to try and problem solve homelessness impacts on the east side of Santa Barbara. I'm Landon Rank, Director of Programs at SB Act, and this is a partnership with the City of Santa Barbara as a part of our broader efforts throughout all of South County, and so joined by Carrie Payne from the city. Um, just a couple dates. It's the same schedule as usual. We'll be meeting every 2 weeks. So our next meeting will be in April, if you can believe that. Susie reminded me today's the first day of spring, too. I also just wanted to make a plug. This is a Goleta focused meeting, but it'll have information that's relevant to all of us in Santa Barbara County. There's going to be a presentation that we're hosting with the city of Goleta on Zoom on Monday. It says 10 a.m., but it should say 12 p.m. But the discussion will be around mental health and homelessness and sort of who to call and what resources exist for addressing mental health concerns, when to call law enforcement, when to try to call service providers. So encourage you if you have an interest to check it out. I'll put the link in the chat window, but it's not one of those registration links. It's just the Zoom link to join the meeting. So it's Monday at noon, despite what it says. Um, I'm gonna turn it over to Carrie just to see if you have anything you wanted to share from the city's level.
We are releasing the RFP for the Cacique shelter today. It should be released on Planet Bids around maybe by 1. And there'll be an associated press release with that and on our website and stuff. That will be the long-term shelter provider at the Cacique shelter. Cacique. We are also announcing the name, which is Casa Cacique. I think they're going to do some press around that. But we're going to really lean into like a non-vendor specific name for the shelter, hopefully having some signage, although it's not a priority with funding. We really want to get the building up and looking awesome before we focus on signage. So we are also moving forward with a bunch of improvements on that building. And plumbing inspections and making sure that we can get it as up and running as possible. So I think we're going to be able to increase the daily capacity. It's been at 70 because we were concerned about plumbing issues. We're going to bring it up to 80 and then aiming for that 100 bed mark as soon as possible.
I had a question. When are you aiming to have the 80 bed availability?
I'm going to be there today and talking to them about their timeline on that. There are some staffing issues. So I'm not exactly sure what their capacity is in terms of staffing, but as soon as possible. So, if we can start getting folks in there, we have a wait list. All of our referrals for the city are going through CityNet, case management, street outreach. And I know that, Cottage, behavioral wellness, probation, Goleta, they all have beds too. So hopefully next week.
Cool. All right. So at this time, let's open it up for our few community members that are on the call. If you have anything you wanted to share or bring up. Really, Susie or Councilmember Santa Maria, if either of you wanted to share anything, no pressure.
Hi, everybody. I don't have anything to share, but thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Susie, you're muted. I don't know if you're speaking. Oh, for some reason we can't hear you. I will say I think they moved around some of the Zoom controls again, so it's probably not helping the situation. We can circle back with you. In the meantime, can we go to Megan with Mercy House just to share any updates?
Good morning, everyone. So first off, I love the name Casa Cacique. That's awesome. In answer to the timeline on going up in capacity, we did recently go up to 75 and we should be up to 80 by the end of the month.
Yay.
Great. That's
Thanks,
Yeah,
Megan.
awesome.
so other than that, I the only other couple updates I have is we housed somebody yesterday. We have two people signing their leases on Monday, I believe, with Patterson Point. One of the guests did go today to the open house to go tour it, or he is on his way there right now. Um, and that's pretty much all the updates I have. And looking forward to seeing you today, Miss Carrie.
Looking forward to it as well.
All right.
That's great news. Really excited to see Patterson Point coming online. There's a question from Susie in the chat about whether the kitchen got updated at Casa Cacique.
Megan,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we're working on that still. We did remove some of the stuff that was not working, and we have ovens and warmers for our catered food for this time. But I believe that a fully functioning kitchen is something that we are looking forward to in the future.
Yeah, from our perspective, we were really aiming when we had the, when we've awarded the long-term provider, getting the kitchen as that, first priority. Right now, meals are being catered, which I think is working. Megan, you can speak to that. But the kitchen is cleaner than it was. It looks very tidy in there. And a lot of the kind of defunct old um, equipment and it's been repainted and everything, so it's a nice space. It's just not operating as the kitchen that it once was.
Mm. Right on. Thank you, Megan. Suzette, are you able to share an update from the rescue mission?
Hi there. Good to see you guys. Everything's pretty much going as normal over here. We're expanding some of our space to open, we're not sure what we're going to call it yet, but more like a resource center where we're going to be kind of integrating our case management into expanding our programming possibilities. And so we're very excited about that. We had a really great tour yesterday at Casa Cacique. It was great for all our staff to go over there and see, yeah, what they're doing and how they set things up. And it was really nice. And then they came over here afterwards and got to see the rescue mission. So that was really valuable for us to have that contact with them.
That's great. What are you hoping for in terms of a timeline with the expansion program?
Yeah, we're hoping within the next month or two, we're
Cool.
going to open that resource center, and we're looking at hopefully connecting with other service providers, possibly having a space where people can connect with our guests, having a space where we can, do more like resume working on, having a space where people can meet for their telehealth visits in privacy, more 12-step meetings here. So we're
That's
excited about it. And then we have
yeah,
our connected care dorm for women that is in the works now. The architects are finishing all of the permitting, and we hope to have that up and running as soon as possible.
that's great.
Thanks.
All right, Andrew with code enforcement.
Thanks, Landon. I was away on vacation for a little bit, but came back this week on Wednesday. So, yeah, nothing major to report from our end. The warm weather is always interesting. It kind of gets people on the move a little bit more, and we see more activity down around the beach and just sort of in the park areas and whatnot. Still addressing things under the underpass. We made a really big push there a couple weeks ago, and we've tried to kind of stay on the ball there to not let it backslide. But again, it's just a very fluid situation, with lots of changes. So on kind of the it can be in the hourly basis. So yeah, we continue to monitor those locations, working with those individuals, and then yeah, other than that, there's some things that are out of sight along the train tracks and whatnot. and just some case by case little litter and trash issues that we are usually able to squash pretty quickly with our contractors. So nothing major to report at this time.
Thanks, Andrew. Any updates too on the beach with the dredge pipe?
We had a meeting with the Rangers and Parks and Rec higher up manager, and I think the dredge pipe is actually being removed. I didn't get an exact timeline on that, but that contract I guess has expired. But it's a U.S. Army Corps of Engineer thing. It's a federal project, so I it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse in terms of
Sure.
when it's going to go or anything like that. But yeah, the dredge pipe I guess is going to be removed, and yeah, there's lots of projects in the works, I guess, for the waterfront with climate adaptation and resiliency things and long-term things. But in the near term, it'll definitely make the beach appear a little bit nicer into summer, I think.
Right on. Thanks, Andrew. Um, Lieutenant Beltran wasn't able to be here today, but he sent a quick brief. He just said there's not too much new to report. We've continued our normal patrols along the beachfront and have not observed any significant new activity. We've also been conducting extra checks in the area of the Cazique Street footbridge due to a recent increase in reported gang activity. Aside from that, nothing out of the ordinary to note. Please feel free to reach out if concerns arise, and then I'll put his email in the chat window. We do still have a little bit of time here, and I saw Jose joined, and Susie, I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to raise, but we can give another couple minutes if there's anything from the community. Jose, I'm not sure if you're speaking, but we can't hear. Oh, it looks like a thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, I apologize for coming late. Power shut off here, because the room next door to mine, they're redoing the flooring and heavy equipment and kept losing power. But when I finally came in, this Suzette Miller was speaking, and I just caught briefly what she was saying. My question is, was there like an open house over there at Mercy Housing? Visitors yesterday? That's just my question. I thought there was something going on for, the community having a chance to visit Mercy House. So that's it.
No, yeah, thanks for asking. That was a tour with the staff. Sorry, Megan, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to let them know that it was just a tour with Rescue Mission, and then we went and toured Rescue Mission as well so that we can kind of get to know some of the service providers and introduce ourselves and let them know what we're doing.
Okay, just one more question because I've kind of been a little curious since Mercy House came in. Will there be any future plans for the community to pay a visit, kind of like a seminar kind of a thing over there, or not?
I think that would kind of be determined with the RFP that is being out, and maybe something that if we were still there that we could consider doing like a grand opening type thing. I'm not really sure. I would have to follow up on that question, but I think that we would be more present in community events and be able to meet you guys that way.
Because I think that would be a wonderful idea. I'm not saying hey, let's do it next week or a couple of months, but something to be able to plan ahead and a day, a time for the community to go there for like a little seminar meeting, hearing, and be able to ask questions, that sort of thing. But that's just something to think about.
We do just in terms of long-term planning, we do plan to do some event when the long-term service provider has been awarded, so probably this summer. So that contract will start July 1. And summer's always a funny time to plan things, but I'm hoping sometime in July we can do a ribbon cutting, have a community event. We also want to be really mindful that it is, people's homes. So working with the service provider to have kind of an appropriate event that
Just one more, yeah.
But if any individuals would like to have a tour, the city has no problem with that, and I'm sure that Megan would be happy to arrange something on a really small scale. Again, like we just want to be mindful and respectful of the residents there, and that it is their home, and not kind of bombarding them with too much.
Yeah, just one more thing. FAFT did that, when they were there, sometime after they had opened up, and a lot of people showed up. But what really frustrated some of the community folks, and even I was upset about it, is we wanted to ask questions, and just ask questions about this and that, what's going on, and we were not allowed to do that. They did not allow. Pat, staff did not allow us to ask any questions, and that was a lot of frustration there. But if and when you all plan to do this, at least give the community to make comments and ask questions. Okay, and that's it.
Wonderful feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Jose. All right, anything else? Seeing nothing, we'll go ahead and end the meeting for community members. Service providers, if you can stick around for just a minute, that would be great. But everybody else, stay cool. Have a great weekend.